Beer, 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 but beer, beer, beer. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to me, Mate Brewski, for beer review number 96. And today, the beer I have for you is by Founders Brewing Company. It is their Backwood'S Bastard. Pretty sure Kentucky. No, not Kentucky. Backwood'S Bastard. Backwood'S Bastard. Ale aged in oak bourbon barrels. It's stout. And it is big. It is 11.1 alcohol by volume. Thank God I'm only drinking this small bottle of it. Because usually, like some other big bourbon barrel aged stouts, they come in big bottles. And those are extremely hard to drink in a whole sitting because they kick your ass. And this probably will too, even though it's on a much smaller scale, it's still probably going to kick my ass. So this beer is going to be definitely a big, slow sipper, so I'm not going to pour that much in my glass. And here's what the bottle looks like. Old gray man on the front. If you can see that or not, I'm sorry. Very, very intimidating looking. These bourbon barrel aged stouts always scare me a little, but also excite me to no end because I know they are just jam-packed with a ton of flavor. So, let's crack this open and see what we have.
That's a Teddy Brewski.
Guess we're having a Teddy Brewski. I'm going to save that cap for my collection that I've been working on a little bit. I have it in a box over down yonder. Not going to throw it in. It's a bit too far. Maybe make a setup of that in the future. So, let's pour this. I'm nervous. Who cares? Let's do it. Get that much in my glass. Yep. Not a lot, just a little. Look at that. Decent little head on there. Looks not super dark, which I'm surprised about. I'm pretty sure it's a stout. Or is it just barrel aged? What do they say on Beer Advocate? It's a Scotch ale. It's a Wee-Heavy Scotch Ale. I'm sorry. I totally misspoke. It is not a stout. They're saying that it is a Wee-Heavy Scotch Ale. So, this is definitely a style that I haven't tried. I've had Wee-Heavies. I think I did one by Duck Rabbit for my Beer Advent calendar. But I haven't had anything this strong. So, or as a Wee-Heavy Scotch Ale. Alright, so Wee-Heavy Scotch Ale style, not a stout. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's very light, sort of a deep ruby maroon. Doesn't really show up on camera, but that's what I'm getting. Maybe a lighter, dark light brown, medium brown of a color. Can't really see through it, just see my reflection in the actual beer, so without further ado, let's stick my nose in it and see what aromas we have. I'm getting a lot of caramel, a lot of molasses, bit of scotch, some oaky woodiness from the beer. That's actually really cool. I've never could find wood in a beer, but I found it. I really found it. It smells like fresh wood. That's awesome. It smells almost even a little chocolatey. Just like a hint of like milk chocolate or something. Oh my god, it smells so boozy. I'm so scared. Alright, let's have a sip and then we'll get into cheers and all that other jazz. Oh wow. Oh, that's not that bad. That's not that bad at all. Sweet caramel, toffee, molasses, a little bit of scotch as well in there, and a nice smoky woody sort of flavor. That actually has really good wood characteristics, really bring out those flavors in my opinion on that first sip, and I'm really identifying them, which is a bigger bonus, and I find that it's a milestone for me in my flavor palette department. That's cool. Wow, that is interesting. Alright, let's drink more. Cheers, everybody. the alcohol in the beer isn't super strong. It's not doesn't kick you right in the throat like some other, bourbon barrel aged beers do. This actually is very nice, very mellow. In a sense, I guess that has to do with the heavy caramel and the toffee, and then the molasses that I'm getting sort of covers it up a bit, which could be dangerous. But it is a big, bold, very heavier beer in all the sense. It's just, whoa. It doesn't kick your ass in the fact that it has a lot of alcohol, like I said just earlier, but it has a lot of flavor. Holy moly. Some dark fruits as well. Sort of like a raisiny flavor I get from it. Not raisiny, raisiny flavor that I get from it as well. Really nice. Flavor doesn't really linger on your tongue that much. Maybe a bit of the molasses and a bit of smokiness, but not too much lingers and sort of stays on your palate, which is nice. There is a bit, but it's not super crazy and does not burn going down and whatnot. But it does leave a little bit of a warming sensation, which I find quite pleasant, especially in higher ABV beers such as this. It's actually quite enjoyable. I need to remember that this is 11.1%, so I can't drink this fast. Thankfully, there's not too much in my actual glass, which I can manage, but the rest of the beer is definitely going to be sipped slow. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the bottle. Very nice looking logo. Sort of an old, gray, long bearded man. Looks to be wandering around in the woods and kind of staring down, seeing that he's found something, in my opinion. Other than that, no description, sadly. But they do list ingredients, which is very nice to see. They say water, barley malt, hops, and yeast. Then they say a bunch of others, just like imported information, blah, 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 blah. Best before 20/07/2018, so it has a very long expiration date, which is very nice. This the Founders Brewing Company is actually out of Granville. It was on Granville Avenue, Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the United States. So I like getting States beers. I've had a couple others by Founders. The Mosaic Promise, I think that was their pale ale. That was also very nice. I like their beers actually. I think this is the second one I've had by Founders. Really nice brewery. That's a good beer. It's really nice. Sweet, almost tart flavors. Even sort of in the mid to the finish. A little bit of tartness there. Quite nice. Works really well. So now let's move on to the website. The website is foundersbrewing.com. And for their Backwood'S bastard, they say, accept lovely, warm smells of single malt scotch, oaky bourbon barrels, smoke, sweet caramel, and roasted malts. A bit of earthy spice and scintillate, I don't know how to pronounce that word, of dark fruit. Yeah, dark fruits. It's a kickback sipper made to excite the palate, and excite it does. Coming in at, this is showing 11.2% ABV. My bottle says 11.1. A little bit of a discrepancy there, but it's 0.1. Who gives a damn? 11.2 ABV. IBUs of 50, so not that bitter, which is nice. It has been giving a 100 rating on Rate Beer apparently, and its availability is in November. So very nice. They also have a little video about the beer, which you can check out for sure. Little feed on Untappd of latest check-ins of who's drinking it, kind of thing. Very nice. And they also have a link to some of their Backwood'S bastard gear. going from long sleeve tees to glasses to interchangeable tap handles and magnets. Very nice to see that too. Overall, very nice looking website. I like the founders Brewing website. Well put together, good information. Moving over to Beer Advocate now. The Backwood'S Bastard has been given a 4.35 out of 5, which is an outstanding rating. Looking down for a review, here's somebody, they give it a 4.33 out of 5, and they say, poured from a bottle into a glass. This is not my first Wee-Heavy, but is my first barrel-aged one, a premium, hearty, great brew. Looks dark, reddish-brown, and a thin head. Smell of creamy chocolate, wood, dried cherries, vanilla, and a hint of almond. Taste similar with an enhanced wooded bourbon character and a high degree of wafting alcohol. Feels full-bodied but not too heavy, a little smooth, a little sticky, and coating quite warming. So, very short and sweet review, kind of gets to the point in the looks, smells, taste, and mouthfeel departments. Very nice review. This is absolutely amazing. It is a bit sticky, but it is fairly smooth for the actual style of the beer. It's very well put together. Wee-Heavy Scotch Ales definitely aren't my favorite style of beer, but if they're done well, I do quite enjoy them. They're definitely a nice slow sipper for sure, and sometimes you can really appreciate that aspect of craft beer where you don't just need a shotgun a beer or do a funnel or something like that. You can find some beers that are big and bold and just have a ton of flavor in them, and just sit back, crack it open, and just sip on it, over a long duration of time, because there is obviously a lot more in a glass than just an ounce or something of like single malt scotch or a blended scotch or something like that, or other types of alcohol. You can really kick back and relax and enjoy a nice full glass of beer, which in my opinion, I'm guessing for the longest time is very unheard of in North America, but with the whole thing of craft beer coming along, you can do that now with the right beer style. For sure, you can definitely kick back, relax, and enjoy something for a good long period of time, which is very, very nice to see. So, seeing as we are down to our final sip, let's get this down and get right down to ratings. Cheers, everybody. Wow. Raisiny, a little bit of chocolate, woody, smoky, bourbony, scotch. Got all the nice caramel, molasses. Got great flavors. A ton of flavors in this beer. Holy moly. It's a lot for your palate to process, in my opinion. So, rating for the beer. It is phenomenally well done. I think they definitely knocked out of the park on this. Still not my favorite style, but I can really appreciate this beer and the style for what it is. So with that said, I gotta give this beer a solid 8.5 out of 10. Pretty well done. Still not my favorite, but no gripes with it at all. For as high of an alcohol content, you don't feel the alcohol when you drink it, which is very, very nice. It's very smooth and just a ton of flavor. Moving over to presentation now. Founders has really nice logos and labels. I think this one looks quite menacing for the style that it is and how strong it is. It fits very, very well. The name fits perfectly as well. I wish they did have a description on the bottle and maybe a IBU list, or not IBU list, IBU, number on there as well. But they do list ingredients, and they do list a clearly labeled best before date, so that is, very good information there too. Now, over to the website side, they do give a nice, short and sweet description of the beer, which I think, hits good points as well. Does list the IBUs, boasts its rate beer rating, and shows the availability. Also, it shows how it is going to be served, so draft, 4-pack, or 750ml bottle, which is nice to see. I like the YouTube video that they made for this beer. The latest check-ins on Untapped, that feed going, very nice, and the addition of the gear relating to the beer itself, a nice little addition as well. So, for the presentation of the website and the bottle, I gotta give it a solid 8, just because there's no description and no IBUs on the actual bottle. I'd like to see something of that on a beer of this caliber, but the website still does a very good job of providing all that information and some extra information as well. With all that said, that's almost all I have to say in this review, but I'm going to end you on this. If you have any comments, questions, or beers you want me to review in the future, leave all that information down in the comment box below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. That'll do it for me, mate Brewski, and like I always say, crack a beer and enjoy. Cheers.